Herdsmen, they kill us every day for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we day here they run to? Move it down. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat your love. Something done the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come oh. It is very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it down. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collect it bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
Kiwe wesu garani orianja nine oria nine nke purita kwa samado dendo nihi no bu na ngi bonye na agwo oria anyi we na akpoku gi onwe gi busumele nke ndi aga kiwe mere anyi ebere ka akwa ka anyi na ebe ku de ka anyi na asu we bia ni rogi kiwe meka Biafra we guzosi ike ka anyi we ni petamasu nya ha so go tutana sopro na ejamma site na ebige bi maro na ebige bi ise mama deregi chineke mama deregi.
Are you still fighting the struggle to have independence for Biafra?
We are fighting for independence, not fighting physically with guns and bullets. We are fighting in terms of our agitation. We are fighting in terms of our belief. We're fighting in terms of our consistency to ensure that we are free, because we're not free. As a free people, we can afford to make life better for our people. Right now, we can't do that because of how Nigeria is structured and because of the very flawed foundations upon which Nigeria rests.
You called for a referendum latest this year, November, you said, I think.
Yes.
If that doesn't happen, what's the way forward? Because the way it looks like the government will definitely not agree to that.
Then there'll be no elections in Biafra land. No more elections here. They can put whoever they like in office. They can do whatever they like with their political positions. We will not engage in any political process.
You said it's a peaceful struggle, but
Yes.
There are some videos of you appearing in the past, especially abroad, in particular in one conference in the US, where you said you need weapons to defend yourself, you need guns and ammunition. How can we understand that in the context that you're saying it's a peaceful struggle?
I'm sure you've heard about the Fulani headsmen killing people all over the place. Have you heard about it? Of course. Exactly. So how do you intend to defend yourself against Fulani headsmen without guns and bullets? They've been killing our people, raping our women, destroying crops in the farms, and no one does anything about it. Is that how human beings are supposed to live?
So, and you have the right to arm yourself and defend yourself with arms in that context?
Self-defense is recognized even by all the known laws of the UN. Is that not correct? We have the right. If somebody were to barge into this very interview now wielding a machete or an AK-47, are you suggesting we should let them get away with it?
You were detained for almost 2 years, from 2015 on, and actually there was no trial. No trial ever happened, and despite several court rulings that said you were supposed to be released, you were not released.
Yes.
Do you think you were treated in a fair way by the government? Or rather also by the justice system?
No, not fairly, because Nigeria is not a civilized country. People behave like animals. They are not reasonable enough. They're not disciplined enough. They are not mentally developed enough to run a transparent civil society. For them, they have a feudal mindset where you have the ruling class and, a multitude of poverty-stricken people who never utters any word in rebellion or to even ask questions about their plight. That is one thing we are determined to challenge.
Don't you think you insult a lot of Nigerians with that?
I'm being very kind, to be honest. I could have used far more harsher words to describe them. I'm being very kind.
So generally you don't think very positive of your countrymen then, obviously?
They are not... When you say positive, no, as individuals, perhaps there are a few good people amongst them. But as a collective, this is an absolute mess. And you can see for yourself. Didn't you go through the roads and see how horrible they are? Didn't you see how unkempt everywhere is? How filthy and dirty everywhere is? That is the product of a Nigerian system that is uniquely backwards, even by the very third world standards of Black Africa. That's the fact, and people must face up to it.
Well, I traveled in the north quite extensively, and I went to very remote areas sometimes where you would still find Igbo people living there, peaceful together with communities in the north. Don't you sometimes think that you might endanger their peaceful coexistence with the communities there, that they might get into trouble with that?
So if they're living so peacefully together, or cohabiting so peacefully as you put it, how come you hear about all those uprisings in the north where southern Christians are being slaughtered and nothing gets done about it? Are you telling me that that is normal? People are in the north out of a dire need, necessity more or less, to try and survive. Because here, the entire production process has been emasculated by people and policies that are geared towards ensuring that our people exist in perpetual state of poverty. And that is unacceptable to us. What we're asking the world to recognize is that we want to live in peace, not in pieces. We want to live in peace just to allow us to be, allow Biafra to exist. We were existing before the British came. Just allow us to go back to, what we were before. No African came to Europe to create countries. So for somebody to just come in here and say, you, from today your name is Nigeria is simply laughable.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on today's program. I appreciate everyone that has connected, wherever you're connecting from. Please like and share the program to everyone. Like and share to family and friends. Share to everyone that you can be able to reach. Let's go along with this message, preach it, push it so that it will get to everyone to hear. I wish every one of you that have joined us on this program today a very happy Sunday. More especially our Christian brothers and sisters. I wish you all a very, very happy Sunday. We have all gone to our various churches to worship and come back. Some are still in their churches, some are preparing to go, depending on your own zone. I wish you all a very happy Sunday, and I appreciate everyone that have been with us today. Those who are joining us this weekend, I can see my beloved brother Gerard DK. Thank you so much, my brother Gerard DK. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You are always there. You are one of my pillars in this platform. I appreciate you and I recognize presence. Mazi Akere TV. Thank you for joining Mazi Akere TV. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mazi. Thank you for joining us at this very evening broadcast. I appreciate you. May Chukwu Kukabia my guide and protect you. I can see Lion Base. Lion Base, I welcome you and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us, Lion Base. Thank you so much. Thank you again for being with us this weekend and spending your Sunday with us. We appreciate you. Sammy G, thank you so much, Sammy G. Thank you for joining us, Sammy G. I can see you there. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that is in this platform at this minute, whether you are writing or not, whether you are commenting or not. We are all special, and I welcome every one of you to this very evening program. It is Sunday, and you all know that Sunday we always have our Sunday sermon. I am my own self that is speaking to you. I am a Christian. I do not miss my Sunday service, but after my Sunday service, I will still come here to hold the main service with my fellow Biafrans. I have said it time and time again that if you are a Christian and you are not supporting the agitation, if you are a Christian and you're not fighting along with people who are fighting for their freedom, your Christianity is questionable. Your Christianity is questionable. More especially if you are from Biafra land, from the old southeastern region, the present south-south, southeast, lower Kogi and lower Benue. And at this point in time, you are not supporting the agitation. You are not adding your voice. You are not calling out the Zoological Republic in what they are doing. You are not speaking up. If you are not doing that, I don't know the kind of Christian you are. And I bet you your Christianity is questionable. Your Christianity have a question mark. So I urge every one of us, you have to know that those of us who are Christians, who go to church every Sunday to worship, that Christ himself came to this planet Earth to fight for freedom of mankind. That was the only purpose of coming of Christ, for the freedom of mankind, to free us from sin. That is what we believe as Christians. That is what we all believe. He came to fight for our freedom, and that was the only assignment he had. So how can you say you are a follower of Christ and you do not support freedom fighters? You do not add your voice to the oppression of the people. Instead, you support the oppressor. That is why I find it difficult to believe these big pastors that are with big names. All these big pastors are celebrating with big names. You see them today. Even in the issue of Christian genocide, they are not talking about it because all of them have political interests. Because their political godfathers are not happy with the genocide of Christians that the United States is talking about, no church, no big pastor is speaking about it. All of them are silent. All the big pastors who are very quick in rushing against those who speak against tithes. When you talk about tithes, they attack you. You talk about tithes, they push you. They tell you, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no more. They tell you how you are robbing God. When you speak about tithes, they will be in the front line to preach to you and tell you that you are robbing God today. Even when there is time to fight for the freedom of the Christians, even when it is time to speak for the Christians, none of them is adding their voice. It is a shame. It is a shame. And some of us continue to worship these people. You continue to worship these people. You continue to pay homage to them. It is sad. It is very, very sad. I, my own self that is speaking to you, I am a Christian. I go to church every Sunday, and I know the kind of church I go and the kind of pastor I have in my church. For any pastor not to be able to speak up at this particular point in time, those of them that had voice, those of them who had voice, even to attack their own fellow Christians, they are so quick to attack their own fellow Christians, go on protest against their own fellow Christians. But today, that it is time for them to add their voice. Add their voice for the safety and security of the Christians. Add their voice of the oppression of their own brothers. Add their voice at the oppression of the Biafran people. They will never speak about it. Instead, they will sing the song of the oppressor. And yet, they mount the pulpit every Sunday to talk all the blah, 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 blah in their mouth. And some of you believe and you shout amen to what you don't know. It is a shame. It is a very big shame. It is a very big shame. All this while that the people in the United States and the media are talking about Christian genocide, how many of them have you seen their video? How many of them, all these big pastors that make noise, how many of them? How many of them? They have their private jet flying here and there. They have connections from Asrock to everywhere, and they are fully protecting the agenda of the caliphate against their faith, against the ordinary people. It is sad. But I bet you, whatever you sow, you are going to reap. You cannot mock God. You cannot mock God. You can continue to deceive the people, but you can't deceive everybody. Today is Sunday. And that day, Sunday, the day that Christians have mapped out by themselves that they're going to be worshiping. Yet you go there that day, they will not say anything that has to regard to the main cause of which Christ came for, to free mankind. They will not. Mankind is still under captivity. People are still suffering here and there. Instead, they fight against those who are supporting the freedom of humankind. It is a sad situation, but we must continue. We must not allow their madness and their idiocy to confuse us or distract us. We must continue to focus on those things that matter. We must continue to focus on the real concern and never allow their idiocy to be a distraction to us. Because these people we know are good for nothing. They are only there for their belly, for what they eat, for their stomach. That is what they're after. They do not care about the masses. They don't care about you, neither do they care about me. So it is high time every one of us wake up and begin to reason properly. So my fellow Biafrans, wherever you are joining from, once again, I wish you all a very happy Sunday. On today's Sunday sermon, we are speaking on international community. The topic says, the title says, Sunday sermon, international community, hear us. Biafra bleeds. Nnamdi Kanu needs intervention. International community, hear us. Biafra bleeds. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu needs intervention. That is what we are going to discuss today. My fellow Biafran that are watching right, left, and center, many of you know that a lot of things have transpired and more things are happening and unfolding on the case of our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We have known fully that the federal government of Nigeria want to assassinate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu secretly by all means necessary. That is why they are attacking everything that has to do with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is under attack as we speak. Everything that is associated with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is under attack by the federal government of Nigeria. And we will never allow them to succeed. Wherever you are as a Biafran, you must rise up. You must rise up. You must rise up and speak up. Do not allow them to deceive you. We must rise up. The atrocities of these people against us is unimaginable. The conspiracy is expanding by day. The most disturbing thing is the conspiracy of the international communities, even when they know what the problem is, even when we have cried and cried and cried, they turn a blind eye to our cry. They pretend they are not hearing us. They are waiting until we are completely consumed. Then they will come and write their history on how we were wiped out in genocide. But God forbid, we will not fold our hand and watch that happen. It will never happen. My brothers and sisters across Biafra land, and around the world. Today, we raise our voice. We raise our voice, not in hatred, but in truth and in pain. For too long, the blood of the innocent have watered the soil of Biafra. The cries of our people echo across Niger, yet the world remains silent. The detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a man whose only weapon is his voice. Nobody has seen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu carry an AK-47. Nobody has seen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even with a cane, a stick. Nobody has seen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with anything that can be attached to weapon. It is so sad. It is so sad. The detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a man whose only weapon is his voice, is an international crime against conscience and justice. The silence that we are seeing across the whole world, the United Nations, the EU, the United States, the AU, all these organizations are silenced in the midst of the continued detention and abuse of the rights of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, an innocent man whose only weapon is his voice. That silence is an international crime against conscience and justice. Wonderful people of Biafra, people that are watching across the world, today's sermon is not just a message. It is a cry of nation, a plea of humanity, and a call to global conscience. Biafra bleeds, and the world must intervene, and the time is now. Biafra is bleeding. The world must intervene, and the time is now. For decades, the people of the Southeast has faced targeted killing, political exclusion, economic strangulation, and military occupation. This has been going on for so many years, with nobody to come to our aid. We have no representation in the Zoological Republic to make our case for us. The international communities are watching from sideline, and they refuse to do nothing. We have cried, we have written petitions, we have made so many steps and moves. We cried and cried and cried, and the cry of the Biafran people woke up the spirit of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he began to do what he's doing, to defend his people and protect them. What did they do? They went after him to kill him. They couldn't succeed. They went to him all the way from Kenya, and they extraordinarily returned him to Nigeria. Even when they know he's innocent, they have no law to prosecute him. They continue to hold him up to this minute as we are speaking. Even when they took him away, Mazi Simon came in the picture. Simon Ekpa could not be able to be silent. He continued to fight and defend the land. They go after Mazi Simon Ekpa and they took him out. And today, the genocide is still going on in Biafra land. The inhuman treatment against the Biafrans has continued. The abuse of human rights is going on, even in public settings. Just of recent, in the protest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you saw what they did to a human rights activist, Omoyele Sowore. Omoyele Sowore, who stood up for the truth, who is not attached to any religion, to any race, any group, or any camp, but attached to humanity. Omoyele came out to speak for humanity, and they attacked him, abused him, even inside the court of the zoo, inside their own court, to show you how lawless Nigeria is. Inside the court, Omoyele Sowore was attacked. There's no outrage anywhere. The lawyers continue to go about their businesses. The judges continue to go about their businesses. Everybody goes things active. Everything is normal. I said it before. The abnormalities in Nigeria are nothing but evil. Abnormalities have been accepted in Nigeria as normality. When you see a Nigerian man talking about going about his normal business, you think there is something reasonable he's doing. When you see people talk about people going about their normal business, the normal business you go about in Nigeria is kidnapping, extrajudicial killing, abuse of the police, destruction of economy. That is the normal daily life of a Nigerian. Lack of electricity, lack of pipe-borne water, bad roads, accident. This is normal life of a Nigerian. So when you hear somebody from Nigeria talking about their normal life, that is what it looks like. Nigeria have normalized idiocy, failure as normal. And that is why you can never have revolution in Nigeria. You can't have revolution in Nigeria because they have normalized wickedness, idiocy. Is acceptable to them. The Nigerian government has treated the Biafran people not as citizens, but as conquered subjects. And they continue to treat us as conquered subjects till date. And it is only the Biafrans that cannot accept this as a normality. Every other tribe is treated as conquered people in Nigeria. Every indigenous tribe, they are all treated as conquered people. But the only people that can rise up to this treatment is the Biafra people. It is only the Biafrans that can voice out and say they will not accept second-class citizens in a place, in their own land. No, never. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Because it's only the Biafran people that know whom they are. That they are freeborn. They are not slaves. And they can never take a slavery status for any reason whatsoever. The Nigerian government has treated every indigenous person in Nigeria, especially the Biafran people, not as citizens, but as conquered subjects. Innocent youth are branded as terrorists for waving a flag. Peaceful rallies are met with bullets. Voice of freedom are silenced with chains. The truth is simple. Biafra is bleeding. Biafra is bleeding. Biafra is bleeding. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stand as the moral compass of the Biafran struggle. You can't beat it. Your envy, your jealousy can never stop it. Our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, stand as the moral compass for the Biafran struggle. His abduction from Kenya and illegal detention in Nigeria defies every international law on extradition and human rights. The court knows that. The world knows that. Everyone knows about that. The international community knows that, yet they are silent. Despite torture, humiliation, and denial of fair trial, he stands tall, calm, courageous, and unbroken. You don't know what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going through. Even as at yesterday, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was attacked in the DSS. The lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu reported of the attack against him in the DSS. That is how bad it is. We have called on them to take him to the detention center where he can have at least some little bit of breath. They refuse. You can imagine the torture Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go through. In his situation, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was attacked in the DSS yesterday, as reported by the lawyers, which I'm going to play the video to confirm it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not asking for war. He is not demanding freedom by law. He is demanding only freedom by law and referendum. That's the demand of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nothing else. With all the intimidation against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I don't know why the international communities are silent. The world cannot afford to repeat the mistake of history The world cannot afford to repeat the mistake of history. We know that they are always late. They're always late. They wait to use people to write history. In 1966 to 1970, over 3 million Biafrans died in silence while the world looked away. Today, history is repeating itself. Another genocide is going on Biafra land. Nobody cares. Nobody is talking. The United Nations, the United States, the EU, the AU must not remain spectators. The time for statement is over. The time for intervention is now. The life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is at stake. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is about to be assassinated by the Nigerian government, already poisoned, and is dying gradually. The time for statement is over. We are calling on the United Nations, the United States, the EU, and the AU. You must not remain spectators. It is time to act. The time for intervention is now. There is no other time than now. Investigate the atrocities against IPOB members. It's a must. You must investigate the atrocities against IPOB members. Demand Nnamdi Kanu immediate release. You must demand Mazi Nnamdi Kanu immediate and unconditional release. Enforce international law and self-determination in the Zoological Republic. Send human rights observers to the southeastern part of Nigeria to see what is happening. Sending human rights observers, let them go in and see things for themselves. Let them go and see things for themselves. Let it not be that it is only we that on the line are talking. Let it not be that we are just online speaking. Let them go and see things for themselves. Are you waiting until when we are exterminated completely before you take action? The same way you waited in Kosovo, the same way you waited in Rwanda, the same way you waited during the Civil War, and so many other places where you waited until genocide was committed, only for you to come back and write a history. What a shame. Nations that preach democracy cannot ignore tyranny. There is no way you will stand in your nation, your pulpit in the United Nations, and you preach democracy, and then you ignore tyranny. That is hypocrisy of the highest order. Those who speak of human rights cannot close their eyes to genocide. We know the West are very good in preaching about human rights. They talk so much about human rights, how human rights is abused across the world. Then how will you be silent? Why must you be silent when genocide is going on? Why do you have to be silent? The same international bodies that defend Ukraine, defend Palestine, defend Southern Sudan, must not be deaf when Biafra bleeds. You must not be deaf. Why is the case of Biafra different? Why is it that when the Biafra is mentioned, every one of you goes silent? Why? Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that is the absolute truth. To every Biafran, wherever you may be, in diaspora, you must raise your voice now. To every human rights defender, you must speak up now. To every international leader, act before the silence becomes complicity. Every one of us should begin to write to our governments. Every one of us should begin to thank the world leaders online. Share this broadcast to everyone. Reach out to anyone you can reach out to. Share it and let it go viral. The world must know Biafra cries is a cry for freedom, not vengeance. Biafra cry is a cry for freedom, not vengeance. Let justice roll down like water, and righteousness like a mighty stream. I don't know what else they want to see. Do you want us to be exterminated before you speak? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even in detention, was attacked. Likewise, his lawyer was also attacked. And I'm going to provide the video from the lawyer, the statement from the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as an evidence, so that the international community will see this, so that those who are watching us will take this information and go with it. It is very important, because when we speak and we don't show you the evidence, some of them will think that we are making it up. They will think we're making it up. I'm going to play a report from the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on what is happening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS, a man that is facing trial. Every one of us know the health challenge that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing. Even in that poor health, yet they have refused Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to do what he has to do. In Nnamdi Kanu, he was attacked by a DSS officer. You can imagine. When we say Nigeria is a terrorist country, not just a terrorist country, a lawless one at that, and no Biafran is safe in Nigeria. None of us as a Biafran is safe in Zoological Republic. I want you to hear what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what they did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In the zoo, I want you to listen to Maxwell, the report he has on what happened to our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's hear him out.
Today is Saturday, 25th day of October 2025. I just came out from PSSS now with some of my mates here with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So, and as you can see, we are no longer representing him in this ongoing trial. But some other matters that for him, and which we have both in Court of Appeal, Federal High Court, and some other courts. So those ones we are happy for him. So told us this afternoon that on Friday, he was not part of the SSS. So reaching there, one DSS officer attacked him. One DSS officer attacked him. That's what he told us. So we said, okay, since it's like this, there's every need for him to draw attention that step to the court on Monday, when the matter will come up for hearing. Let the court know, because we have consistently applied that he should be remanded at the correctional center. There he will have an adequate time and condition environment to prepare his defense. Now that the court went to the DSS and attacked him, and he has been mentally and tortured, he was sad. And this is somebody who wants to go and enter trial, to enter defense on Monday. So just to update you, and we have also told you what from the court about it. So that is the update. Thank you. God bless you.
You have heard it from Maxwell that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was attacked in the DSS. Attacked in DSS, you can see what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing. This is somebody they detained illegally, who is going to be appearing in the court tomorrow. Remember, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is coming to court tomorrow. In the last court on Friday, after he appeared in court, on going back to the DSS, they attacked him. They attacked Mazi Nnamdi for no reason, for no just cause. They are trying by all means to intimidate him, to abuse him, to engage in so many emotional blackmail of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to break him down. But I believe that Chukwu Okike Abiama is going to be with him. They will never succeed. While we are hearing the news of the attack of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we also hear that our lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, collapsed in Kuje prison. Remember Aloy Ejimako, the way they maneuvered him and dragged him and ran to the court. After the court, they could not even wait for the colleagues to come. They just did everything fast. They took him to Kuje to make sure he spent time in Kuje. That was why they could not allow them to know where they are when they are bringing him to court. And before they could be able to finalize his bail condition on Friday, it was all over. So later on, we got an information that the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Special Counsel Aloy Ejimako, collapsed in Kuje prison. And I want you to hear that report from Maxwell also, because Maxwell is the voice that we are hearing that is running around for all these issues for now.
Just an update. I came out from DSSS where I went to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and I received six of messages that Aloy Ejimako collapsed at the Correctional Center where he was abandoned. So I rushed the Correctional Center and I demanded to see him. So the officer in charge directed that the officer should have discussed as to however that happened. So such a man of massive is sarcastic, telling like the criminal subjecting to such ill treatment. So you don't expect it's when it comes to itself. So it's very unfortunate because this is what we call restlessness and justice. And they use initially to perfect the identity. Because I believe that the magistrate having known that this is an act of intimidation, this is an act of lawlessness, you shouldn't have even that you should just release such a man on self-recognition. On self-recognition, we have seen where people committed a very big crime in this country. They release them on self-recognition. Not talk about the very senior line. The man of over 70 years. It's rather unfortunate. So the very he has been met up with a bail condition used by the court and the other protesters. So and they perfected it. So it's for the judge to sign for order for release. That was around 11 yesterday, Friday, 24th. Waiting for the judge from 11 in the morning till around 6 p.m. when we left from the court. The judge was not there to find. He released everybody they were waiting for him. So I don't know what they want to achieve. It's unfortunate. So I saw Omodeshore, I saw Prince I saw Prince and some other protesters. I believe. So by only out, I think that is about it.
You have heard the report, the update that is coming. You see that the federal government of Nigeria is attacking us on all fronts. They attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS, and they attack his lawyers. The lawyer collapsed. And at the same time, the attack is coming to us as Biafrans everywhere. As these things are going on, they are taking the life of Biafrans everywhere. That is why we are speaking up and calling on international communities to pay attention to the situation in Nigeria. It is not just about the genocide of the Christians in the north. Something worse than that is about to happen. Something worse than that is happening already in Biafra land. And the whole world is silent. Silent makes you complicit and you must act now. We have waited for too long. We have been silent for too long. It is now time to act and make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. How long are we going to be silent? How long are we going to be continue to keep quiet? How long are we going to continue to pretend that all is well when everything is wrong? For how long are we going to continue to pretend? How many people need to die before the international community weigh? How many more people need to die before you know that this is a very critical situation? It's a matter of urgency. How many people need to die before you realize that it's a matter of emergency? It is so sad. Very, very sad. And I hope that those who are left with the responsibilities to do what they have to do must go to work immediately. We cannot continue to keep silence. Nigeria is not a nation, has never been a nation, and will never be a nation. So as we are speaking this evening, I'm still going to bring to you one of the debate and discussions on these very issues, how the discussion is going on in their own conventional media. I'm going to bring it up because you know their media, the evil media of Nigeria, will always create their own narrative. They are very good in creating their own narrative, but whatever they create, we will always bring it out for the whole world to see, look into it, and also apply their own common sense to every single thing they hear and know whether if it is the right thing or not. Let's hear what I have to say.
With me, Frank Tietie, a lawyer and a rise analyst here to promote light on these issues. Glad to have you. Always glad to have you in the studio. All right, so straight out, where do you stand for or against concerning the lawyers?
Oh, why should we even contemplate the issue of disbarment as if that's the only kind of sanction you give to a lawyer? If you perceive that he's done something wrong, you can reprimand him, you can suspend him, you can do anything, but not disbarment. So I think, but that is very far from to be considered.
Has he done anything wrong?
Oh, no, absolutely not, because you must consider Aloy Ejimakor first and foremost as a Nigerian citizen. He's got rights as a citizen to demonstrate, to be part of the protest. And then two, he does in every way hold some measure of professional responsibility to both the courts and to the legal profession. There's no doubt about that. So we must therefore now make a distinction between his responsibility and rights as a citizen of Nigeria and his responsibility to the court. So did he in any way offend the court? When you say matter is sub judice, it means that it's under consideration by the courts. And when you also say that lawyers, particularly under the rules of professional conduct, specifically rule number 33, should not, make public statements with regards to that they are involved in. It's clear because the aim is that do not make such statements to either put pressure on the court, to influence the court, or influence the public. So what Aloy was doing by being present, just being present at a protest, at a rally, does that amount to in any way as putting pressure on the courts? Yeah, it doesn't in any way. Because, and then most importantly, did he organize a protest? Did he call for a protest? He was simply part of the protest. If I am working to free my clients, and then I see a number of persons who consider that my client is in detention today for political reason more than legal, and they are holding a rally, and I happen to be present there by way of any form of solidarity as a citizen of Nigeria, am I trying to influence the court? Am I trying to influence the judge? So the unfortunate thing, and we must know this, is that if we think that Aloy has gone past his remit as a professional, as a lawyer in a matter that is appearing, and then which means virtually every senior lawyer, every lawyer who has spoken to the press immediately after leaving the court hearing has actually violated that rule.
Did you hear that? If any one of them will blame Aloy Ejimakor and call for his persecution, every single senior lawyer that have ever addressed press after their case, it doesn't matter what you say or how you say it, they also should all be convicted and arrested. So Nigeria is a very evil country. They attack us, they attack our sensibility, everything that has to do with a Biafran, they criminalize it the same way they succeeded in criminalizing self-determination and dragged Finland into it. Finland joined Nigeria to criminalize self-determination. Nigeria is so evil that if you do not end the zoo we end every single thing that is living in it. If you don't end the zoo, if the international community don't wake up and end the zoo will end everything that lives in it, including the neighbors. So the battle is not just for the Biafrans, it is for the world. And actually what we are doing is saving the world, in case you don't know. Let's continue to listen to this lawyer. You will see that Aloy Ejimako did not commit any offense. Aloy Ejimako was only taken to Kuje because he's a Biafran, because he has to do with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because he's an Igbo man. They continue to push this intimidation, this atrocity, this hatred against the Igbos. They continue to push it to the highest level to remind us that we are not part of Nigeria. And that is why we want to leave them and have our peace. We want to be on our own and have the peace. How is it too much to ask? You don't want us among you and you don't want us to go. What other wickedness can be more than that? I want us to hear from this live.
I hope we all know that. So yes, because those actions have been more prejudicial to the cases that they are appearing than whatever Aloy did, expressing his rights as a citizen of Nigeria.
Oh, well, that's quite interesting.
Of course it is. Because the rule is quite clear. Anytime a lawyer makes a statement in public, when a case is anticipated or when a case is going on, especially when he is involved in a matter, it violates the sub judice rule. And we see it every now and then. Lawyers, especially senior advocates, as a form of one subtle advertisement on the other, is offensive to our profession. It's wrong. I, as a lawyer, will never make a statement concerning a matter that I'm appearing in. We're doing all sorts of things, and then we've been accepting them, and then it comes to Aloy's own. Is it because it's involving Nnamdi Kanu now? We are now waking up some stuff.
Let me get you right. Are you saying that if you leave a court room, you cannot grant it?
As a lawyer participating in a matter, immediately in fact, there is an express rule against it, Rule 3 of the Rules of Professional Conduct that has amended in 2023. You cannot address the press with regards to the fact of the matter, with regards to any issue related to that matter.
So, why is it that?
Because it's against the sub judice rule. Even though it's a common law rule, we don't have any express statute against it. But they are all equal. But we have
express statute.
No. But again, how do you not look at what is the role or what is the status of the rules of professional conduct? It's express that you cannot address the press, and we do it all the time. And look, the courts accept it, the position accepts it. There is no reprimand. Nobody has reprimanded. It's wrong because there is room for journalists to be in the court all the time to observe proceedings, to take note of things, and they report in such a manner that is not prejudicial, that does not undermine the integrity and the independence and impartiality of the court. When we see this every time being breached and we don't have anybody raising doors, it comes to that of Nnamdi Kanu and the respected Aloy Ejimako is now an issue.
Yes.
Why should it
So,
be?
before I go to my next question, just this one. All you're saying now, what does the Constitution particularly say about it?
Look,
I mean, it's the ground norm.
yes, the Constitution says, under Section 39, the citizen of Nigeria has the right to hold opinion and express it. Under Section 40, the Nigerian citizen has the right to congregate, to meet anywhere in any part of Nigeria, and then express himself and take part in it. Under Section 41, he has the right to move about anywhere, go to Kafanchan, go to anywhere, and then express himself. He has an offended constitutional citizen of Nigeria. Right. It doesn't exclude the fact that he has some professional responsibility to the Nigerian, to the bar, to the legal practitioner. Yes, I mean the legal profession. However, has he offended the court? Was he attempting to influence the court? Was he attempting to intimidate the judge? Absolutely not. He was present at the protest that was aimed at President Tinubu to take a political decision, ask the Attorney General to withdraw charges against Nnamdi Kanu, or rather release Nnamdi Kanu. Well, how could that be offensive? Right. For goodness sake, fine.
What do you even make of his arrest and the arrest of those who participated in this protest?
Oh, well, I found that quite sad. Very, very sad. In any way, I'm careful because when we promote human rights, we try to balance it with responsibility to also promote the fact that there has to be peace. I think that was tainted. The point is that should he have been arrested? I don't know. I mean, but when the police gave a reason for arresting him, that he was present in a place where a certain court order, banned people from protesting. These are issues of fact. The point is that was it named in that court order? What was he doing? Just by being present, should he have been arrested? And again, what is the process? You know, in determining the criminality of whoever, what was wrong or who was offending the particular order of court, should that be left to the court? We're talking about a legal practitioner who is, present at a rally, at a demonstration, a peaceful one, non-violent, absolutely not offending any known law. Why should I arrest him? But those are all the dimensions that point to the fact that this whole thing about Nnamdi Kanu is political. And I maintain that position. And that's the reason why its solution lies in the political power, and particularly that of the president.
Let me ask you this. The police said it is standard procedure to keep a suspect in custody until bail conditions are met. Correct?
That's not very correct. The point is that the moment the police hands over a suspect or an accused person to the court, its job ends there.
Yes.
It's respect. Don't forget, the court has a belief, the court has a sheriff that takes responsibility of the accused person. That will, at the time, it's not the police that, there's this wrong procedure we experience all the time in court, where where after bail has been perfected, you still have to take that bail, the perfected documents, the prosecutor, to examine whether they are in accordance with the pronouncement of the court before the person is released. All sort of violation of our rights. The good thing about it is that this is happening.
This is a serious matter.
Of course it is. Absolutely serious.
Because this goes on and on. Are you saying that the police,
it didn't have any business anymore? The moment or whoever was here as an accused person was handed over to the court.
Why does it keep happening?
Oh, because we have not challenged it. Because we keep failing to observe known standards. And we allow them the same way the lawyers violate the rule against them, the subjudice rule, when they make pronouncements, when
they normalize every lawlessness.
That's the same way the courts have tolerated their powers being.
That is Nigeria for you. They normalize lawlessness. The only time they recollect their brain is when it has to do with a Biafra. They will continue to commit all their lawlessness regardless of what their law says. But anytime a Biafra comes into the picture, an Igbo man comes into the picture, the whole stage will change. That is exactly what is happening in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is what is happening to our lawyer Ejimako today. That is what is happening to every other lawyer that started for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. None of them have validated the call. That is something happening to Showore. Showore today is being persecuted simply because he came into the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to stand for humanity, to stand for justice. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is persecuted today simply because he's an Igbo man. Allah Ejimako was arrested and continues to be persecuted today simply because he's an Igbo man. It's only when he has to do with an Igbo man, they change the standard. They realize that there is a law and they begin to dig deep into their law. But within themselves, they can practice their lawlessness to all levels. And in everything they do against the Biafrans, against the Igbos, is always based on lawlessness. And nobody raises an eyebrow. Nobody challenges it. But when it has to come to the Igbos to react or to act and follow them up on their own system, they now realize they have a constitution. You can imagine the explanation. The right of the police, where it ends and where it stops. But every time they go extra mile to do certain things that are unlawful, abuse the right of the people. Human rights abuse have become the order of the day in Nigeria. But the most disturbing thing is that the international communities do not care. They are not speaking about these issues. And Nigeria has taken it as normal. That is why it continues to happen over and over and over again. And will continue to happen. It will never stop. Because the international community permits it to happen, they celebrate it, they do it, and there is no punishment for them. The extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, nobody is punished. The genocide in Biafra land, nobody is punished. The attack on Showore, nobody is punished. Constant attack on Showore, nobody is punished. And they take it as normal. It is sad. Very, very sad. And that is why no sensible person will pray to spend another minute in that contraption called Nigeria.
With the pronouncement of the court before the person is released. All sort of violation of our rights. The good thing about it is that this is happening.
This is a serious matter.
Of course it is. Absolutely serious.
Because this goes on and on. Are you saying that the police,
it didn't have any business anymore? The moment or whoever was here as an
So
accused person was handed over to the court.
Why does it keep happening?
Oh, because we have not challenged it. Because we keep, failing to observe known standards. And we allow them. The same way the lawyers violate the rule against them, the subjudice rule, when the time they make pronouncements, when they come out from court, and the courts tolerate it. That's the same way the courts have tolerated their powers being, taken over by the police. I mean, the court is in the custody of the court. It's in the court to determine that, look,
my time is gone.
Go to the prison or remain in court.
Okay, quickly. Is the police handling this right? Are Showore and his people, are they handling it right?
I think I'm sympathetic to the police. I mean, those officers of the police force, because they have to obey certain political orders, even when they know that what they are doing is wrong. And then when you ask me as to whether Showore, I'm also sympathetic to Showore. In fact, I'm very sympathetic to him. I believe he's doing the right thing. And again, there is no restraint to the level.
The court order.
Oh, wait. The point is that I'm not aware whether he was harmed. But the point is, if he has chosen to disobey an order of court, then let him face the consequences. And that's what.
You see that word they're afraid of talking. Only this place I feel them mention that issue of serving that very court order. Many of them never spoke about that serving of court order. Even when Showore continuously, repeatedly shouted, "We were not served, we were not served, we were not served." But each time they discuss this issue, they ignore the fact that Showore was not served that court order. Showore was not served that court order, and he made it clear that he was not served. And as long as he was not served that court order on Friday, the court order becomes invalid. But none of them is making that case when they are speaking about this issue. Only this place that I have, in all the videos I've been playing, is only here that serving of the court order mention. And even when the mention it looks as if it's a slip of tongue. They run away from it. But that was supposed to be the main cocoa they have to discuss. If he was not served, there is no point arresting him. So if he was not served, in fact, the state has committed a crime against him, abuse his right, and they need to pay for that. That is supposed to be the main cocoa before you ever talk. Was he served? And none of them is asking that question. Even when it was mentioned here, look at how they jumped over it.
Political orders, even when they know that what they are doing is wrong. And then when you ask me as to whether Showore, I'm also sympathetic to Showore. In fact, I'm very sympathetic to him. I believe he's doing the right thing. And again, there is no restraint to the level.
The court order.
Oh, wait. The point is that I'm not aware whether he was harmed. But the point is this: if he has chosen to disobey an order of court, then let him face the consequences. And that's what's let me tell you. No, let me tell you. No, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying
what you said. Yeah, I'm just saying that. Very interesting submissions. Thank you so much. In fact, he's a lawyer and a rights analyst. Always interesting to have you and discuss. Like I said, you always vibrate.
Oh well, take some cold water, right?
That is the end of the discussion, and you have heard it, and you see them. Each time when we see their discussions, we bring it for Biafrans to know. That is why we bring these things up, to show the lawlessness of Nigeria, to show to the whole world how lawless Nigeria is. Because this lawlessness is exposed even in their own media. Sometimes when we talk about it, people might think, oh, it's a propaganda, oh, it doesn't happen. But when we report it from their own media, you will now understand better that in everything that we are saying, we have never lied. It is just the truth and nothing but the truth. The atrocities against the ordinary people, the wickedness of the Zoological Republic against other people is unimaginable. The only terrorists we know in Nigeria is the government. The only terrorists we know in Nigeria is the government, and that is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have named them, called their officials out, and we're waiting to see them in court tomorrow. Tomorrow being Monday, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to be in court. Tomorrow being Monday 27th, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be in court, and we are going to be there live. Anywhere you are, make sure you join us in morning program 7:30 a.m. We're already 7:30 a.m. We're already on. Join us tomorrow morning 7:30 a.m. Biafran time. We are going to connect and we'll wait and go with them to the courtroom and bring information of what is happening in the court. And also, we hope that Aloy Ejimako and the rest of them, including Showore, will have their freedom tomorrow. We hope that they're going to get their freedom tomorrow. It is so sad. It is so sad that we all found ourselves in this very idiotic, dramatic nation that is not supposed to last this next minute. But however, whatever happens, we must continue. Must continue to have faith. Must continue to do whatever we can do to see that we march on until we get to the promised land. I appreciate everyone that have joined us on this very evening broadcast. You know, our evening broadcast is always 1 hour. So tomorrow we are going to have our normal program in the morning. Try as much as you can to join us in the morning program tomorrow to continue to preach this gospel. And we make sure that every stone is shaken. We will touch every stone and make sure that we follow up and continue to speak until the world hears our voice. My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, Biafra will rise again. The spirit of freedom cannot be buried. The chains of oppression will break. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will walk free. Biafra will take her rightful place among the nations of the earth. Let this sermon be heard from Abuja to Washington, from London to New York. International community, hear us. Biafra bleeds. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu needs your intervention now. No retreat, no surrender. We are not giving up. We are going to continue to fight this battle until we are free. Thank you so much for being with me on this very important program. And I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect every one of you Biafrans, those who are living abroad and those who are at home in the mainland. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect all of us. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect our leaders, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Eba. I pray that our freedom will come sooner than we expect. Thank you so much for being with me, and see you again tomorrow morning. Remember this. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear. Now go with the go so. Herdsmen, they kill us every day, for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Who be that? I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jealous. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come. It's very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. But now them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.